What's up, babies? Today we're doing an unboxing from our friends over at XVive. Today we're diving into the u35. This is their wireless microphone system. There's a couple ways this can be used out in the real world, but what we're going to do first, we're going to dive into the box and see everything that's included. We're going to compare and contrast from their previous version, the U3, that I did a review on a few years ago. We're going to see some of the upgrades that they've done, some of the changes that have been made, and if it's worth it for you to upgrade from a previous system or even buy this at all. And then fingers crossed the weather stays nice. We're going to go out, we're going to road test these two babies side by side. But thanks so much for coming back to the channel. I'm DJ Hi Kevin. Let's get into it. All right, babies, let's get into this guy. So as I said, I've used their previous version of this, the U3, which is just hiding right up there. But we're going to poke this guy a little bit first. So just real quick, in here, you will find, of course, you got your little pamphlet for all their stuff. We have our warranty card, and then a little instructions for you. 1 year limited warranty, some features of the transmitters, receivers. Of course, we have just some tips to get you started. It does have two applications in my experience. One of which, of course, is using it to make a wired microphone wireless. But also, I used it as wireless XLR, so getting from A to B. A lot of times in our situations as mobile DJs, we need to get stuff somewhere, and it's a little more difficult. It's either a table's in the way, we can't run cable, something like that. Fortunately, this creates an opportunity to not worry about that as much. So you do get, of course, your sweet little pleather XVive bag, which holds just about everything. And it comes with this double USB-C cord into your USB so that you can charge both at the same time. So that is one of the upgrades that happened with this new version, in addition to these sweet red stripes. But yeah, basically you're putting these in, you're getting them fully charged, and then we're off to the races. So a couple details on this. So this is your receiver. This is going to be plugging into your mixer, to your speaker, wherever you want the sound to come out, right? So pretty simple. You just have a power button. Of course, you also have your transmitter. This one has a couple more buttons on it. What you have here is your power, and mute is just off. So you got your power and mute. You can see you got some lights down here that click on. But then most importantly, we have our mic and line level here so that we can kind of quickly adjust depending on what we're doing, which I think is just a perfect feature. When having them together, we want to scan for the best channel. So on the receiver, you're just gonna click and hold for 3 seconds. And then it'll start doing a circle around. And it'll find the best channel based on where you're at. So I guess channel 6. So then we change this to 6. There we go. Couple taps, and then you can see the green indicator light tells us that we're good to go. So we do have some LED indicators as far as charging. Green solid is going to be 41 to 100%. Yellow is going to be your kind of, but you're rolling the dice a little bit. So you got yellow is going to be 6% to 40%. Red solid is going to be that final 5%. And then a blinking red light is going to be under 1%. So real danger zone. Charging times looks like you can get 5 hours in 2.5 hours of charging. So it looks like your battery life is about 2 times your charging time. So 30 minutes will get you an hour of battery life. 2.5 hours charging will get you 5 hours of battery life. Of course, we have our different levels in here. Mic and line mode. Generally, when connecting a microphone to an XLR output, use mic mode. It suggests, of course, if it does distort, then you just click it into line mode. That will attenuate for 10 dB. Just gives you a little more room to breathe. All right, this is what I was looking for. Let's see here. So we actually have a frequency table. Nice. So yeah, something about channel 6 is perfect for me in this office, I guess. They recommend if you are having trouble with your effective range to plug it into an XLR cord, which, yeah, that does actually make sense, but kind of defeats the purpose. I guess you would use that in a situation where you are kind of like backed into a corner a little bit. And then you just want to make sure that you can just bring that out a little bit more, get yourself a little more space to work with, a little clearer air. And then, yeah, we just got some specs in the back here as far as size and etc. Some troubleshooting stuff. And of course, just that general application overview. You plug it into something, you plug the other one into something, and then the stuff works, right? Bang. Cool, so that's basically everything that's included in this. As we slide this away, we're gonna take our cables back a little bit. And I'm gonna reach for, we have our old one. So let's power down the 35, we'll set them over there. Let's get this guy out. So as I said, the one major change that they did make was switching to USB-C instead of USB cables, right? Nobody's using a PlayStation 4 anymore. I don't know, they did a different thing with the cord that's not really that big of a deal. It's a longer Y versus like, I guess this is the new one, so it's like a true split right down the middle versus like a longer cord with the Y, but whatever. All right, let's put them side by side. So pretty much the exact same size. Actually, looks like the new ones are a little bit bigger. Yep, of course the change in the red lines and everything, I think it looks a little neater. But other than that, not many changes other than the power cable. Everything else is almost verbatim. I think I'm gonna be the guy to say it that other than there's like a little bit of a difference in the range that they say that the new one can do. I really wish I still had my booklet for the U3 so we could fully compare, but from the information that I saw online, it looks like we might have updated to 5.8 gigahertz on this, which it does say on it, but hang on. Yeah, see, it doesn't say anything. You can see it says 5.8 on this one, but there's nothing really saying what it is on here. I do know everything I've read says that these are only 2.4, so that's going to be your one change, I guess. So yeah, maybe in a slightly more RF environment, you're going to certainly lean towards this, but I haven't had too much issues with these. They've been more the physical issues of certain walls and just certain spaces, you know, but I've gotten through windows with these ones. So yeah, just one thing about them, you definitely want to keep them in a line of sight when you are using them. Other than that, they're not perfect. Nothing's ever going to beat cables, but it will beat the environment, which is the big thing for me. So I think we can agree that this is, number one, a really cool idea, and the fact that we have wireless XLR is awesome. It's in my hands. I've always been such a firm believer in wired over wireless. The better things get, the more I believe in them, and I'm getting pretty excited about these. I've had so much success with their old version, the U3, that testing this one out is going to be a lot of fun. So I think the best way to do that would be to do a full-on microphone range test. So it's a little crappy out right now, but we're going to come back. We're going to do the road test right outside my window. So stay tuned. Probably going to change clothes, but I will see you tomorrow.
24 hours later.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So I've come up with what I think is a pretty cool idea as far as testing this out without being too weird about it. We clearly want to test the distance. One thing that I'm not too worried about is the delay on both. It's under 5 milliseconds, which is barely even noticeable. So that's not something that I feel like I can accurately test. But what we are going to test is the range of both of them. So what I have right now is I'm going to be using actually the P3 from XVive. This is their Bluetooth transmitter. So it goes to XLR, which I have now plugged in currently to the U3 transmitter. So I have this taking a source from my phone, sending it to the U3. So we're going to set this right outside so that we don't have to worry about the walls and stuff in the office. And then we have the receiver, which is attached to my Zoom recorder, so that we're going to be able to literally watch the levels on this screen. So I'm going to take this camera with me. We're just going to walk along. We're going to hold the devices together, and we're going to check it out. And I think it's a pretty cool little test. And frankly, I mean, look at how neat that is. There were so many other ideas I had, but this is definitely the coolest one. So, so we're going to start with the U3. I'm going to get everything set up, and we're going to go for a quick little walk just around the block. All right, so we are now outside. We're just right outside my place. And we got most of our kit together here. So let's check it out. We got our phone. We're going to listen to I Think We're Alone Now. We got our P3 that's on, so taking the signal from the phone, putting it into our transmitter that is going to send everything to our receiver over here. And then we're going to turn this on, and we're going to be able to see our level. There's no SD card. We don't need an SD card. So that line will be able to see everything. So you'll see right now. See, there's our signal coming through. So now we're going to take a quick walk. See how this guy does? Obviously still staying strong. I'm going to map out the distance from this point to where I walk using Google Maps later. But it's saying that the old one is going to be about, what did it say? 90 meters? Or was it 90 feet? I don't remember. But to compare the two, we're just going to set the baseline using this old one. We're going to keep as direct line of sight as we can. Still kicking here. And this is pretty far, so you can see it's right there. Oh, looks like we're getting some cutouts. Looks like we have actually officially cut out. So let's back up a little bit. We're still getting some choppy. Where is it? Oh. There it is. We're back solid. So we are right at the corner of the fence post. So now we're going to cut back and we're going to swap out for the other one. All right, back out for round two. We have swapped, so you can see we're back on red. So we got our new one up. So let's start our walk. We're pretty much just going to go straight to that point that we were at before. Everything's in the exact same spot. Pretty much running everything verbatim. So you can see us approaching the fence over here. And of course, we are still strong right now. Focus. Oh. Nope, we're good. Staying strong. We are past that point. Going quite a bit further here. Oh, I might hit the river. Oh my God, dude. I can't go any further. There's a river. Oh, that's perfect. I think we're cutting out like right about here. Yep. Cool. So we are still... I'm that far house in the back. And we are about... Oh my God, it's still going. It's still okay. I guess we'll keep going. I can't go down there. Why couldn't you just cut out? All right, we'll push it. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, of course, as soon as I get out of line of sight, it kind of cuts out, but then it came back in. All right, we're gonna walk. We're gonna do the whole thing. So I'm going to, there's a bridge right up here. I'm gonna take that. We'll go across it, and then we'll keep walking. Because we're literally still, even without being in line of sight, it just cut out. But it was staying strong. Okay, so here we are on the east bank. There's the west bank that we just came from. And we are strong as ever. So I got to avoid some ice. And we're going to keep this guy going here. Dude, are you kidding me? This is crazy. That might just be the song ending. Backing up. Okay. Full signal again. Oh my God. Come on, man. It's cold out here. Oof. Ow. I walked into a tree. Okay. Ah! That was the song ending. All right. Nope. There it is. I think we've officially got it. I think we've hit the end. Let's take a step back here. And we'll see. Yeah, see, it's kind of clipping back in. Full signal again. Okay, hang on. Nope. There it is. Wow, that is significantly further. That is That second picnic table you see is the closest thing we can see to where it was still working, or the first one ended. So that's bonkers. It's cold, number one. Number two, I didn't scan with the original U3, so I feel like that might have changed things just a little bit, and I feel kind of like the test is a little inadequate until I do that. So I think I'm gonna go and do it again with the old one, because we have to know, right? All right, so let's do that. I'm gonna go grab it, we're gonna swap out, I'll meet you guys back out here. So there is no scan option on the old U3. I guess I completely forgot that. So I'm just gonna, just because I feel like I've already committed to this other test, I'm gonna switch it to channel 6, which is what we scanned for, and that was the best one. And we're gonna redo this. Now let's walk again. All right, so we're gonna go to the original point that we lost the signal. We're gonna check it out, and then if we continue to the river, then we're going back over the bridge again. Oh my gosh, it's doing the same thing. Exact same spot. I wonder if it has something to do with just that spot. All right, maybe I just had to get past that. Getting a little jarbled. Nope, there it goes. Yep. Okay, cool, sweet. Well, I'm glad we did it anyway. We did get like a little extra range from channel 6, so it's cool that the scan works on the new one. I think that's a point proven and a point that we can take. But yeah, I think we're good. All right, we're back in the office. Yeah, I think we've come to our conclusion today, which is super exciting. I was a big fan of XVive's U3 from the first time I used it. Just being able to get across those gaps that you can't put wires on, whether it's a high traffic area or staff there, or I don't know, stairs, or just a giant bar in between. It was really nice to have that flexibility to, at least as long as I'm in line of sight, to have some wireless support, you know? But that test is so dramatically better. So if we are looking at the distance here, then this is, like I said, pretty dramatic. If you're looking at my doorway, so it's about 150 feet from my door to where you can pretty much see right at the corner of that playground. But if so we had walked to the water's edge right about here, which was sheesh. And then we kind of walked around here. We walked across this walkway. We walked down here. We walked here, and then we walked. Oh, that's crazy. It might have been. It had to be over 400 feet, because I was definitely in line with where the pool was. So there you go. That's a dramatic difference. Absolutely massive. So as you can see, the difference in range is pretty massive. We're looking at almost 3 times the range just based on this controlled environment, which I think says a lot about it. So let's really reel this all in. One tight little package. Ready? Absolutely improved range. 5.8 gigahertz wireless instead of the 2.4. The additional ability to scan for the appropriate channel, which I just don't think is anything that we would even notice. And plus you get these sick red racing stripes, dude. So I think it's a huge improvement. Once again, big shout out to our friends at XVive. I'm a huge fan of what you do, from these transmitters to our IEMs to the Bluetooth receiver for XLR. You guys are nailing wireless stuff, so thank you very much. And thanks to you for being here. Hopefully this test was fun for you to watch. I think it was a cool experience, and I definitely learned a lot. If you can do me a favor, if you can hit like, subscribe, and please just leave me a comment about your thoughts on wireless technology in the mobile world. Is this something that you're gonna use, or are you gonna run a 150-foot XLR cord? I mean, I should say now we're up to 419 feet of XLR cords, so let me know. I'm curious to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this. I appreciate you being here.